Hello, everybody. Welcome back to SketchCraft Live. It's Monday night, which means we talk about podcasts and stuff. Usually about comics, art, what we've been up to, well, how many times Brandon wants to make a new ID so everyone can see how he has a beard now. Whatever. We talk about all sorts of stuff. And joining me to talk tonight about that stuff is Ashley West from GangFeather.com. Ashley, how are you?
It's great to be here.
Do you want a new ID, Ashley? You want to?
No,
No? No? You doing all right there, right?
I'm doing fine.
All right,
I was just trying to sympathize with Brandon or empathize.
Speaking of Mr. Empathy, Brandon Mega Potato James, how are you?
Hi, everybody.
How's the
I'm
beard?
so glad to be here online with all of you.
Gosh, I'm just so glad. You know, we got past the ID thing, you know? Because we couldn't move forward without it. So now that that's taken care of, let's get on to things we're going to talk tonight about. Ashley's got some stuff she wants to talk about, some Deadpool stuff. Brandon's got a league of questions. It's very interesting, Brandon. Very different from last week. Proud of you.
I got to bring stuff to the table this time.
Me too.
Besides my beard, besides my beard.
Yes, besides your beard. All right, so this is episode 49. We're one episode away from the big 5-0. And let me give you some quick SketchCraft updates. You're probably wondering, Rob, where's the art updates? If you joined me Friday night, Ashley, you weren't watching, were you? Perchance?
I after the podcast or
yeah, after the podcast Friday night, we recorded a gaming podcast.
Yeah. And you're saying was I watching after that?
Did you see anything that happened afterward?
I did not.
I will be posting this tomorrow, folks, because I needed a few days away from it. I decided to quickly put together a Copic color guide for the Diablo piece. Also, it was going to coincide with Josh White had a question about getting some illuminations and stuff with color pencil and Copics. I kind of had to do that with the Diablo piece. So I sat here and streamed. Mike joined in because he was actually going to try to get on the gaming cast, but he forgot we were on Rob time and he's on Mike time. So he was an hour or two late. And I scanned the stuff in. I set up everything, and I was like, wow, I'm going to stream how I set up these lines for Copic coloring, and everyone's like, this is pretty dope. And then I went to go print it out, and I was like, oh, that isn't working. Let me make a minor adjustment. And then all of a sudden, my printer stopped printing. We ran out of inks. So I was like, all right, don't worry, guys. I got the inks. So live on the stream, I went, got some inks, put them in the printer right there, that printer right there. And then it decided not to print cyan, magenta, or black, even though they were full up on inks. So I started to troubleshoot it. And then it just refused to turn on at all. Right on the stream.
Fantastic.
So my printer, you see right there, is now dead. It's dead. It's a dead printer. The power don't work no more. Anyhow, new printer's on the way, courtesy of Mike. Few other people in the chat room willing to trade for commissions and stuff. A lot of wonderful backers out there and supporters of their show willing to help chip in to get that printer situation squared away. I almost feel, folks, since I got here in the land of Idaho, I almost feel like I'm on a Truman Show like situation. I feel like every other day there's someone up there just like trying to take something. Let's see what he can do without this. You know, the Cintiq, the headset, all the USB hubs, the internet, this monitor's going weird, the printer died. Nothing else in the house broke. Nothing. Just all my stuff. Which, really, really freaking weird, folks. So, that was my weekend. Trying to get everything back up and trying to figure out what went wrong. It's just easier to fix to buy a new printer now. In terms of buying a printer, all the newer models that's a Canon Pixma Pro, i99, whatever. They don't make them anymore. The new ones use a new ink set that's not even compatible with what I have, and it's kind of lame. Ashley, do you have the one that uses the gray, the light gray and the
Yeah,
medium,
it has like 6 cartridges.
and it has a light gray and a gray?
Yeah,
How do you feel about that printer?
I like it.
For printing out your lines, it's fine. Have you tried printing out full color?
No,
Don't.
because I don't want to waste.
Don't. I've seen the one that I had before that. They actually had a photo red and a photo green and a photo magenta. They had these photo colors that added saturation to the colors, so they're really vibrant if you do have to print something. And the one with the light grays print like an orangey thing. But it's irrelevant for what I do. It's going to work great. But it does suck that all the backup inks I had are completely incompatible. So more fun here at Casa de la SketchCraft. In the meantime, I have been working my ass off on Game Cave. I recorded part 1 of a video that I'm piecing together I recorded part 1 of the video with Brandon's wife, Jess Jam Artsy, who's helping me with an interactive portion of Game Cave, right, Brandon?
Yep.
And did you see what she was working on the other day?
With the mapping.
Yeah.
The different section. Yeah, that was really cool.
That won't be in the video because that's new. But let me just say, folks, it's pretty dope. I can't wait. Check out the video. I'll be sure to pimp the shit out of it once it's up. I might actually try to record that with her so she can kind of show everybody.
Mm-hmm.
But I've also been completely redoing the whole front part of the book. And I thought, since I've just talked my fucking ass off about it, we can quickly, very, very, very quickly kind of show you all what I've been doing here. Cintiq. So this right here is a mock-up of the cover. This is not final art or layout, it's just a mock-up. Then I went and added, it starts off with Welcome to the Game Cave Universe, and you're going to see all the dimensions that exist in Game Cave Universe, focusing down into this dimension, which is this particular galaxy that the Game Cave takes place in. And then here's all this is just temporary spot art here, folks. I didn't even do this planet. I just grabbed a piece of something from the internet. And there's 12 sections to this galaxy, multiple planets, sectors, space stations, and shit. And this is the planet Prima, where Game Cave takes place on. And then we'll get to the map, where it'll say, hey, look, planet Prima. These all have descriptions too, folks. These are all going to have descriptions of everything and explanations on what this stuff is. This is all temp art right here. That's just Star Fox map. And I sketched that in. Then we're going to have Prima, and then we're going to have all the locations. You've seen this stuff before. I'd flip this over now, so it says lands. And then it starts with the capital of Valence and goes all the way down to the other sections. And then this is temp art I threw in from Dofus just for sizing, so I don't overdraw the characters. And these are going to be all the different races. There's 16 different races to go here. Some are extinct, some are elite. And there'll be descriptions of those. And then we'll have the main characters, which I use some Dofus art in the meantime. Just a block in. Like I made a little bomb cat in Dofus, right? Got a little jelly, so kind of get that framed in there. And then I went and added all their stat boy stats. This is actually all interactive, so I'll go in there and put on their stats. And then I started drawing new rad and bacon art. And then it comes over here, and then we'll have Game Cave 1-1. This went through about 10 iterations last week. It's not even remotely.
I like the stat pages, how that looks.
Yeah, it's what her stat boy looks like, her stats. So and then they'll each have they'll have their equipment, their skills, their specialities, and so it's all like bonus info and stuff like that. But when we zoom out, you can see that's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. That's 16 pages before we really even start the book. So it's a lot of effort, folks. And the idea is that you sort of start big and zoom, zoom, zoom. You know, you start in the universe, go to the galaxy, go to the planet, go to the territories, go to the races, get into the main characters of the book, and then start the actual story. So that was my weekend.
Terrifying, but awesome.
It's only taken 3 years to figure out how to do this. Brandon, you've seen this in multiple forms, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I've been a part of a couple of the forums, and those things even drove me a little batty. So, and just seeing just everything come to life. Like even like we were saying, Jessica with the mapping the other night when she showed me, I'm looking at it, I'm like, God damn, I can't believe you 3D made all of this and now it's interactive. Like, she kicks my ass.
Yeah, she's being the real talent in the house, huh, Brandon?
Oh yeah, I'm fine with that. I'd be a stay-at-home wife. I'm okay with that.
But that being said, just trying to get all your information, all the things you want to do, and then trying to figure out how to distill it into a very simple, format. I don't want to do it again. Like, I'm going to be using this template for almost everything I do, comic book wise, moving forward on my own. So that's what I've been up to. In the meantime, let's talk about some other shit. Ashley, you're up. What do you want to talk about?
Well, I heard that Tim Miller walked away from Deadpool 2. So that was kind of interesting. Apparently, this is what I've been reading, him and Ryan Reynolds were not agreeing. I think Tim Miller wanted to go for more of an artsy kind of thing, and maybe I think it was wandering away from the original kind of, I guess like rated R, like the rated R raunchiness from the first one. And I think I guess he I'm not really sure if it was like you've been voted off the island kind of thing, or if he just walked away. But I think he just walked away. And again, I guess just too many differing opinions, because Ryan is the producer, so I guess he has a lot of say in it. And I was reading somewhere too that there's maybe a petition that they want to get oh my gosh,
Quentin Tarantino.
Yes, Quentin Tarantino to direct it. Thank you.
Yeah, it's like a fan petition.
All right, let me tackle this, right? So
you tackle it, Rob.
Let me explain. If you guys, I know you go on the internet, everyone reads stuff. It's weird. So the info really comes from Humberto Gonzalez. Humberto's a badass. I had a chance to meet him once. He's a really good guy. He works at the Wrap now. He's got the inside scoop on a lot of shit. He's accurate within a 90% range.
Oh,
so
yeah.
he right, Brandon?
Oh, yeah.
Right.
He's got his finger on the pulse.
Yeah, and so he basically broke that. Him and someone else at the Wrap broke that Tim Miller, the director of Deadpool, stepped away due to creative differences. The word they used was that he wanted a stylized, that's the word, stylized take on the sequel, and that Ryan Reynolds wanted more of the comedy, and they disagreed on the casting of Cable. Collider tackled this a little bit today, and I thought they did a pretty good wrap-up on it. So if you're going to watch Collider video, you should go check out the Movie Talk to see their viewpoint on it. From my take, the bummer on this is the team worked the first time around. Sucks that they're not working now, right? So personally, though, if it's true that Tim Miller wanted more serious tone, maybe a little bit more story, a little bit less jokes, not no jokes, but maybe less jokes, more story, I'm perfectly glad with him going away. I thought about this a lot. I think that, what he was able to do as a director and work with Blur Studios, he was one of the head guys. He ran Blur Studios. Being able to integrate the visual shots, working with the studio and having a good relationship to get the best effects, that's all wonderful. But at the end of the day, what worked for me with Deadpool was the fact that it wasn't so fucking serious compared to, X-Men Apocalypse. I think the choreography and all that stuff, that's definitely a director's issue. So they need someone who can handle that. And I can only think of 3 people, and we'll get to this stupid online petition thing in a second. 3 people on my short list, maybe 4. I'll give you my picks, right? 1, if I could pick, Matthew Vaughn, director of Kick-Ass and Kingsman, right? That'd be my number 1 pick. All right, my number 2 pick would be the John Wick guys, whoever the fuck they are. I don't know their names, right? That'd be my John Wick guys would be next on my list, right? If he wasn't available, I'd go John Wick if I could pick. If I couldn't get them, and I had like a dream pick, obviously James Gunn on that list, right? He's getting done wrapping up Guardians, right? He'd be on that list. And then if none of them were available and I had anyone else I knew would be available, and no one said this, is Lexi Alexander. She actually directed Punisher Warzone, which I think is highly underrated. She definitely knows about fight choreography, and she knows how to work on a budget. And I mean, she's part Palestinian. She's half Palestinian, half German. So yeah, she's tough. She's tough lady. Good director, underrated. Really underrated. Needs a good breakout hit. And so those would be my 4 top picks. The last person I'd ever want to direct a Deadpool movie would be Quentin Tarantino. And let me explain
Yeah.
to you.
Oh no.
Let me explain to you why, right, folks? Right? Because there's nothing more useless than an internet petition for movies. I sign online petitions all the
Yeah.
time to help dogs, to help lions. You want to help the animals? Online petitions, that's where it's at. You want to get someone a job in Hollywood? Let's all sign an online petition to get Kyle, right, a job directing something at Netflix. Okay? We got a better shot at getting Kyle from the forums a job than we'll ever get to get a director to direct anything. It just will never happen. That's not how Hollywood works. I don't give a flying fuck. But with Quentin, he only does one thing. He directs things he writes, right? So he's already turned down Star Wars. They've admitted, they asked him about it. He said no. He's turned down every superhero thing. I'm sure he's been offered a million of those. He won't do it. He writes his own thing. He wants his own universe. Quentin makes Quentin things, you know? He's never going to do... he probably don't even know who fucking Deadpool is. He's like an old school superhero guy. That's why he talked about Superman in Kill Bill. You know, like
Right.
if he were to ever do something, he'd be more likely to do like Shang-Chi or the Iron Fist or something. You know what? He'd be more likely.
He wanted to do Luke Cage, but he wanted to do the '70s version.
He'd be more likely to direct a Luke Cage one-shot special on Netflix, right?
Mm-hmm.
Than he ever would Deadpool. So and plus you wouldn't want it to because it wouldn't have the same vibe as the last movie. You know, the Zombieland guys wrote Deadpool. That's the voice I want to continue through. You know, and Ryan Reynolds ad libs. Quentin Tarantino don't allow that shit. Period. You know what I mean? Like he wrote the shit. He's got an Oscars, multiple. You know what I mean? Like it's Quentin's show, man. So
This is who I think would make a good take on it. What do you think about Edgar Wright, Scott Pilgrim director?
I think he'd be a great pick. However, I want someone that can figure out how to make Deadpool flip over and shoot 5 guys through the body cavity all at once, and then look through the hole, and I don't know if that's Edgar Wright. He's not very dark.
Yeah, but Scott Pilgrim, Shaun of the Dead. Shaun of the Dead's pretty dark.
Yeah, that is kind of dark.
Yeah,
it
but
has its funny moments, but it's serious.
Yeah.
I mean, he did a lot of action, and Scott Pilgrim a lot of
visuals. He couldn't hack dealing with Ant-Man, dude. I don't think he's a studio guy. I don't think he's a studio dude.
Yeah, because in Ant-Man, they wouldn't let him deal with, some of the edgier shit. With Deadpool, they'd have no problem. He'd be like, hey, I'm going to throw in this
Okay,
joke.
Look, 5th pick, Edgar Wright. There you go. All right, Brandon? There you go.
Okay.
You contributed. Brotato.
Yay!
Good call, Kyle. Brotato.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I don't like the beer NATO, but I like Brotato. The Brotato will probably stick. Ashley, if you could pick someone not already on the list to direct, right? Let's say you had the power of the internet petition, you could reach through and yank a director out to direct this. Who would it be?
This is just a joke, but the first name that came to my head was, what if Steven Spielberg did it? What would it look like?
Honestly, I'd be more inclined to see Shia LaBeouf direct.
Yeah. No, that would be
just do it. He's my 6th pick. That's my wild card. Let's let Shia LaBeouf direct Deadpool 2.
Thank you.
And he could play. I think the best online pick for something recently is they were saying Shia LaBeouf should play Jason Todd. I'd buy that for $1, right?
Oh my gosh, that would be awesome.
Right, that would work. That would work really well. So, you want to add anything to this, Brandon? Is there anything I missed?
No, I think I nailed it with your 5th pick. I think
it's never gonna happen. You just don't see it. All right. What else, Brandon? Pick something.
All right. Sad news, but Steve Dillon, comic book artist, passed away this past week. He did Preacher, and he was known for Preacher and Punisher and a bunch of other Marvel books. Sad news, but really great artist. And it had me thinking the other day. I was thinking about like legacies as an artist, and I was kind of curious: is Game Cave what you would want to be your legacy, Rob?
I
If
don't know. I
you
don't have a legacy, bro. Like,
nothing.
I
I mean, if you had
a
something for people to
legacy.
remember you by, would you want it to be Game Cave?
Probably a stupid podcast, I guess. I don't know, man.
Ugh.
I don't. I don't. In the immortal words of IDW, I'm irrelevant. Like,
Did they say that to you?
yes.
How mean.
Yeah, I know, and then I go and blab about it on the internet, but whatever. I'm irrelevant. That's what they say. Why'd you talk about it? I'm like, I'm irrelevant, right? So it doesn't matter what I say on the internet. So
I guess that I guess you don't hold back then, like you're like free in that
I'm
regard.
free, right?
You're unplugged from the Matrix, Rob. I guess that wasn't really a topic. I was just saying sad news that he passed away,
It
but
is sad.
you know, it
What's your favorite thing he did?
of his.
Yeah.
Is that what you asked, Rob?
Yeah, that's why I asked you. What's your favorite thing Steve Dillon has drawn?
I wasn't a huge follower of his. Um, I mean, I know his work on Preacher and stuff, and I liked his take on Daredevil and the Ultimates that I bought, but it just wasn't my style. So I mean, I don't have like a real favorite. You won't see me doing like uh, an art piece to remember him by, but it's sad he's gone. But I don't have a real favorite. I mean, do you? Did you buy?
Yeah,
any
well,
of the
I mean,
Preacher
I
stuff?
was buying Marvel comics when I stopped at X-Men Origin or Wolverine Origin, whatever. X-Men,
Right.
right? The movies fuck up my head. But Origin, the Wolverine, when they decided to actually tell Wolverine's origin, that's when I got
Mhm.
out. But right before then, there was some really good stuff I enjoyed reading, and one of it was the Punisher run that he did. Right, I think Garth Ennis, Garth
Right.
Ennis, right? See, I get Garth Ennis, Gareth Evans, all these fucking dudes. I'm getting them all goofed up, but yeah, I enjoyed that. Obviously, I enjoyed Preacher. There's a part of me
Yeah.
that really likes indie stuff, like darker, like Grant Morrison's reboot of the Doom Patrol. I like a lot of that cutting edge stuff, and so Preacher was something I got into. It wasn't like how I wanted to draw. It was just something I was like, oh,
Right.
this is pretty dope, dude. This is gritty. And then with the Punisher, I thought with his art, it was a good blend between cartoon and Tim Bradstreet. Like
Uh-huh.
it was still cartoon. It wasn't. You could tell he wasn't drawing over 3D fucking models every other panel,
Right.
or even photos. So, and he had almost like what's the guy that drew Watchmen? I'm brain farting.
Shit. I'd have to look it up. I can't
Yeah,
think off the top of my head
I
for some
know,
reason.
right? Yeah,
I want to say Gibson.
yeah, Gibson, Dave Gibson.
Dave Gibson, yeah.
So I felt he had kind of like a Gibson take, like on Watchmen when Moore would write, when Gibson and Moore would put together like
Dave Givens.
Gibbons, when they would put together like those 4 panels, and it would just kind of hold a shot, and you just see kind of blood eking out a couple
Mhm.
times. Like he would do stuff like that, and so I thought that was dope. I mean, they tried to recreate some of that run in that Thomas Jane Punisher movie, like
Right.
the Russian, when Diesel comes out and there's Ashley, have you seen that Punisher movie, the Tom Jane?
No. Is
Uh,
that the one
hmm.
that came out like 2004?
Probably.
Lexi Alexander's War Journal is
Because
far
I didn't
better
even
movie.
know it. Like I've been seeing it on like Netflix and stuff, and I was like, I didn't even know that came out.
If you watch
I just
the recent Punisher on Daredevil season
no,
2, yeah,
no.
if you see that and then you see the one that they put together in 2004, it's almost like a Funny or Die skit. Like, yeah. I mean, Steve Dillon, his designs would be somewhat cartoony, and they tried to apply that to the movie, and it just, I don't know, man, it was weird. But he was a dope artist. What else has he done other than Preacher? He had to do some other shit. Let's just look this up. Let's give the guy some dues. Steve Dillon art. Type this one in, and we'll go here, and we'll see what has he been up to other than Punisher and Preacher. That's pretty much all he's known for. The two things I read, right?
All right.
So Punisher and Preacher. He had to do some Animal Man. That sounds like dope. Some dope stuff, right? Right. If we come to his Wikipedia, we can actually see what the hell he's been up to. Judge Dredd. That makes sense. He's got some. What else he had in there? Hellblazer. That makes sense. Punisher. Yeah, mostly Punisher. And Preacher. So the guy made hey, look, he made a mark, you know, and I think that given how crazy this industry is, that's pretty impressive. And he was British, right? Yeah, he's a Brit.
I'm not sure.
Yep, he's British. So died young, man, 54.
Take care of yourself, artists.
I'm
Stay
taking
in
care of
shape
mine.
like
You
me.
take care of yours. Thanks for that health tip, Brandon. We all appreciate.
100 push-ups, 100 crunches a day.
100
The One
push-ups,
Punch
100.
Man way.
Yeah, the one punch potato diet.
Rob,
Anyone have anything else to add to that?
no.
No, nothing. All right, what else we got?
Rob, why are Copics so damn expensive compared to other markers? What makes them so much better? Is more expensive. Why?
I don't know.
You should know.
Maybe it's the way. Maybe it's because the ingredients they use or
The
the way that they
ingredients.
package it.
Yeah, they're all organics. They grow them only from organic Copic trees.
Yeah.
What
Well-
makes Copics your favorite, Rob? Why are Copics the best? Why do
Huh?
you like them so much? Why do you like Copics so much?
They're refillable. The colors are vibrant, and they mix well.
That's
There we
probably
go.
it too. They're. I mean, do you think that has something to do with it? Since they are refillable, they're like,
And they
it's
got-
like a once in a lifetime marker. You
And they
don't
got a
get
brush
rid of-
tip. There's another one called Spectrum, and there's a conversion chart some people have made online. So if you run out of Copics and you have to get Spectrums because Copics are unavailable due to the Copic shortage, then you can go that way. They're not that much cheaper.
You can't do that with tough markers, can you?
No. But I mean, look, they have standards. They're Japanese. They have standards. I don't think their vendor that they found last year stuck to those standards very well. If you've used Copics in the last year, they're hit or miss sometimes in terms of the ink just going around with the pen.
Which Rob did not believe me for the longest time.
Because I never experienced it until the past year. So there's still the Copic shortage, but it's getting easier. Like, here's the thing. Here's how nice a town, nice, when I say nice, the low crime rate we must have. Because I walked into a Michael's and the Copics were just sitting there. Like, when you
What?
walk out, you
Not
know where the
behind the
candy
counter?
is? No, you know where the candy is in the aisle at the
Yeah.
cash register? Yeah, that's where they're at. Just there.
Really?
Yeah. I was like, I
I
can't
know where
They
I'm
ruin
going
don't
this.
if I
know.
visit you.
They don't. Know.
Hey, look, I'll pay for them. I'm just saying, like, wow, normally those things are under lock and key. So,
Yeah, and no one's around.
yeah. So I'm not saying shit. I'm irrelevant. No one watches this podcast anyway. So.
So, is it safe to say all three of us have seen the Logan trailer? Ashley, have you seen
You want to
it?
switch subjects and tell people what you're talking about?
Actually, I haven't seen the trailer. I mean, I know it exists. I mean, like I've heard this stuff about it, just haven't seen the trailer.
Everyone, I am switching topics.
Thank you.
Okay, you have not seen the Logan trailer. Rob, you've seen it. I've seen it. It's
What is a Logan trailer?
The Logan trailer is the newest trailer for Wolverine, set in a futuristic, apocalyptic world where everything is very dirty. I assume they're in Vegas because there's nothing but dirt and desert, or maybe Arizona. Wolverine's in it, Professor X is in it, X-23 is in it, and the Reavers are in it. In the trailer.
And from what I can tell, Brandon, Mel Gibson's in it. Look, it's Mel Gibson. Oh, wait.
What?
No, that's not Mel Gibson. I thought it was Mel Gibson. Looks just like him, doesn't it?
Yeah, it doesn't. You can't even tell.
They make a movie about Mel Gibson, and Hugh Jackman has to play Mel Gibson.
Wait. What? Oh.
He's being sarcastic. Nothing
Yeah,
about
yeah. No,
this,
I was like, wait a minute.
yeah, nothing
It's Mel
about this
Gibson.
trailer.
It's Melly
besides
Gibson.
the claws.
It's Melly
It looks
Gibson.
like Mel Gibson when he was drunk and just on a rampage. It just,
Melly Gibson's is the bomb.
does any part of this trailer make you feel like you're watching a Wolverine movie?
Give me back my son. What?
Does any part of this trailer make
Give me
you
back my
feel
son.
like you're watching a... I lost it. Fuck it.
Here's the thing, man. If this was the movie they were making to follow up the travesty that was X-Men Wolverine Origins, I'd be more excited than I am today. I just don't care. This movie comes
okay.
out and it's fun. I'll go check it out. But I gotta be honest, man. There are, to quote the Matrix, there are two X universes and only one. One has a future and one doesn't. right? One is the Bryan Singer X-Men Apocalypse, everything is dour, world's always going to end, everyone's going to die. And the other one's the Deadpool way, you know? And we already know if Tim Miller wants to go the way of the Bryan Singer, that ain't going to work. You know, like after seeing Colossus and Negasonic Warhead, do what they're going to do, I just don't give a fuck if Wolverine is almost ready to die 30 years from now or 50 years from now. I just don't care. The only way this movie can interest me is at the very end. If Cable shows up and takes X-23 and brings her back to this one, we can just move forward, with a whole new timeline. I don't know, man,
Well, here's the thing. At the end of X-Men Days of Future Past, when Wolverine wakes up, right, and everything's all hunky-dory and happy and they're all in the future, I don't know the exact dates on it, but it's like 2026, right? Something like that, where it just everything's all great. Now, apparently, this Wolverine movie, the newest one, is supposed to take place in 2030. Just like 4 years after that one took place. And obviously, everything went to shit, and Wolverine's way older. So the timelines are non-consistent, way fucked up. It just...
And that's disregarding the fixed timeline.
The fixed timeline of...
Like it never happened.
It's almost as if this movie should have taken place before Days of Future Past. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it should have taken place. But it's just like, what was the point of Days of Future Past if the future's still fuck it. Fuck it, man.
Yeah,
we'll do it live.
Confusing.
What's Ash say? What's he saying?
Ash says, I'm actually not interested in the movie. It doesn't really look like an X-Men movie, and I find the X-Men movies so hard to enjoy to begin with because I still think of the awesome cartoon, and what we keep getting is this weird back and forth stuff.
I'm tired of time travel. And it's crazy because they're putting Cable in a Deadpool movie.
Right? I don't know. It's just...
By the way, do you think Ron Perlman would make a good Cable?
Yes.
Yeah, well, that was something that Collider brought up. Like, they were saying that apparently Tim Miller wanted Kyle Chandler to be Cable. Now, he played the dad in Super 8. Everyone goes, Bloodlines. I'm like, wasn't that Super 8?
The dad, the girl's dad? Or the
kid's
boy's
dad. The boy's dad, right?
I don't
Type
know.
that one in. You tell me. I'm just going off raw knowledge here. Right? So, no Google. And then, apparently the studio wanted like a Liam Neeson type. And so they were saying that, well, maybe in, Tim Miller's version of Cable, Kyle Chandler makes a good fit. Just we want more of like a Stephen Lang kind of Cable. You know what I mean?
I like him.
Yeah.
Grittier, grittier Cable. I think we all want a grittier Cable. So if Tim Miller wants a young dude playing Cable, none of us want that. I'd at this point, and I haven't seen Kyle Chandler's screen test, so I don't know. But I'd take Anthony Bourdain as Cable before I take Kyle Chandler. Does that make any sense?
No reservations in the future.
Hey, man, guy looks like he's seen some life,
Yeah, I think he could do it.
Now, if you wanted to have old-ass Cable and younger Cable, the Kyle Chandler Cable, having to team up, like two versions of Cable having to team up with Deadpool, now that's some crazy time travel I'd watch. Like it needs to, like, get a little weird.
Right.
Like weird I like. I'm willing to accept a young and old Cable in this sequel simultaneously. Real question is who's playing Bishop, man? That's the fucking shit I want, man.
So we talked about this on the cast before, but not this cast, but the live drawing one. Why can't, let's say this is the last Wolverine movie, right? Let's just say this is it, the last one. And you got this fucked up future world. Now, they already tried to do Apocalypse, so they fucked that up. But why not have the one-eyed Cyclops from Age of Apocalypse? So Cyclops has one eye. Maybe Jean Grey's dead again. So
Brandon, hold on. What Brandon's trying to say is, in the new movie, rather than just try to adapt the Old Man Logan storyline loosely, why not mix in some stuff from other storylines, like the Age of Apocalypse storyline, where you had a darker future, where genetics went really bad, Apocalypse took over. See, all they had to do was let Apocalypse win at the end of the last X-Men movie, and then this movie makes sense.
Right.
So the events of Days of Future Past, although corrected that timeline, made this timeline go to shit.
Right. And then they could go back on the next X-Men movie, fight Apocalypse, and win. But Ashley, I don't know if you ever read Age of Apocalypse. Did you ever read that? Okay. Basically, in that, Jean Grey ends up with Wolverine. Cyclops is very bitter. He's got one eye because Wolverine cut out one of his eyes.
Okay, all right.
Beast is a mad scientist. He's called Dark Beast. So
He's got
I
like
just
no
thought
hand.
with this, yeah, with this new movie, the Wolverine movie, why not throw in some of those things where good guys have gone bad, and we actually have mutants that
You know what I
look
want,
like
Brandon?
mutants.
Why wouldn't they just add Sabretooth and Wild Child in this film? That would be
Right.
dope, right? Like, see some crazy shit,
Wild
you know?
Child Wild Child hunting down Wolverine, jumps on his back, bites him, shit like
Okay.
that.
All right. I'm sorry. Who is Wild Child? Like, what
Uh,
kind of?
Poor soul.
He's he's basically like a little he's like Sabretooth if he couldn't think for himself, just like a dog on a chain.
So he's a dog because
No,
Sabretooth's like
he's
No,
a
he's a
mutant.
person.
He's a mutant, but
what
he's
kind
like
of animal? Like, you know what I mean? Like
He's
Wolverine's
feral.
like a wolf.
He's a feral human.
He's
he's
just
a
a feral
feral
human. Okay, gotcha.
he's a crackhead. He just he's on bath salts.
Oh, so
Yeah, I was
Sabretooth and Wild Child could fight X-23 and Wolverine. You know?
There you go. Why not? Why not have Wild Child in the trailer trying to run down one of that shitty car they're in or whatever?
It's the Mega
Why
Powers
not?
versus the Legion of Doom.
I mean, I don't give a shit about the Reavers, and they don't even.
No,
look
hold on.
like Reavers.
Time out, dude. All right. Now, the first X-Men story I ever read was God Loves Man Kills. The second I ever read was Silvestri's run with the Reavers.
I mean, the Reavers in
the
this
Reavers out in the
movie.
outbacks with. Now, I was confused by the Aborigine dude in the comic. If you aren't familiar with the storyline, there was some weird Aboriginal
Talking
guy.
about Gateway.
Gateway's his name. I was confused by
Gateway's
that
his
because I
name.
didn't. I was a little kid. I didn't
He teleports
understand.
them.
I was like, "Where's the dude, the bald guy?" I didn't. But then
I think you're talking about Gateway, maybe.
I don't know his name, man. All I know is they were out in the boonies and in the outback of Australia, and so I don't know what they're doing, man. Look, I don't think this movie looks bad. I'm just saying I don't care. You know, I don't care, Kyle. You know, I have plenty of time. I just don't care.
When's it come out?
Next year, it might be great, and if it's great, then we'll have a good time. But you know, much like Deadpool, I just all the timelines. I just you know.
And we still have yet to have a movie where Wolverine is in the yellow costume, right? Yellow outfit.
Look, that's never happening.
That's
I know, but
never
I'm
Just
just
let it
saying,
go.
there is no movie, right, that exists. Like, no,
No.
He opens
live
he opens a suitcase with the costume in
and
it.
it's a joke.
It's a no, it was in
There-
the well.
There's
It was
Bat
in
in
the
the
movie.
Sun. You know, you can go watch Wolverine fight Darth Vader or some shit like that. Or the Predator, right? Wolverine versus Predator. That's the one I watched. There you go.
And I'm not saying the Reavers is a bad idea. I'm just saying in this trailer, they're just a bunch of dudes with a robotic hand, and
Look, if this was
yeah,
Netflix's Old Man Logan, this would make a lot of sense. But I don't know, man. Look, it's out whether it's a good movie or not. I just
don't care.
you know. Plus, man, I don't know. Maybe this past year, as my dad died, my mom died, my brother-in-law died. You know, maybe I'm just don't care. You know, like just it's not in it for the deaths. I mean, I want the risks there, but you know what it is? I've seen Wolverine almost die how many times now? Like every movie, right? They take his powers
Yeah.
away, and now he's losing his powers again. You know, it's like, oh, let me guess. Professor X gets knocked unconscious, so he can't be there for the final fight. What movie was that again? Oh, that's like all the fucking X-Men movies. So
You got to knock out one of the most powerful mutants. I mean,
But then there's no.
they took his wheelchair
you know,
away.
I'm
in this movie.
personally looking forward to One Punch Man season 2. Like that's what I want. more.
Is that out yet? I thought it's supposed
No.
to come out this month.
No. It's sometime
No,
next
no.
year. They just
Oh,
announced it.
okay.
Yeah.
I guess I made that up. Or maybe I saw something that wasn't true.
You got too excited.
You gonna go to the movies to see this, Ashley?
You know, I don't know. Probably not. I
Is it-
say that because it's always the movie that you least think you're going to watch that all of a sudden you're there. And you're like, how did I get here?
Do
right.
tell. Anything you're looking forward to next year, movie wise?
Me?
Yeah. Mhm.
Not at the top of my head, no.
Justice League.
Not particularly. But I'm sorry. I don't want to make anybody mad. Don't make me do that. Like, I want to hurt anybody's
Make
feelings.
someone mad on the internet for your comments. That'll never happen.
You're not looking forward to Wonder Woman?
not really. I'm
Like how
sorry.
quiet
Like
she gets.
again,
No, shit, I'm in trouble. You don't have to care. I'm just curious. Episode 8?
it's not that I just don't care. It's just like I guess
Rogue
I
One.
just don't
That's
care.
this year.
Rogue One, yeah, Rogue One probably more than definitely Justice League, just because I feel like that's more interesting to me personally.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. John Wick 2?
Ooh, yeah. I'm looking forward to that.
I don't care what you think, Brandon. I'm asking her.
I don't know. So far, the best Justice League to me is like Justice League Unlimited. And
Yes.
yeah, I have watched that. Okay, so I watched all those episodes.
Doctor Strange. You looking forward to that?
Um, why are we asking all these questions?
We're
Mm-hmm,
involving you.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Thor Ragnarok?
I guess Thor over Doctor Strange.
Is it because he's cute?
No, it's got the
Course.
Hulk, man.
It's got
the
that
Hulk.
body.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's why Brandon's going, you know.
Oh yeah,
Muscles.
the bulge. The bulge.
Brandon heard it with Jeff Goldblum was in it, and he's there. So
He's a scientist.
you should see him salivate during Jurassic Park 3D. It's crazy. Brandon gets that cornucopia shot where Jeff Goldblum's laid out like a Thanksgiving dinner, and he loses it.
So, Rob, would you like to go over one of my other topics, or are we done?
What other topics?
Well, you did mention an old school run of X-Men, and I was going to ask you, could comics ever reach the sales and hype they had in the 90s again? Could you ever see the comics making a surge like they did in the 90s where they were like...
Why ask this question? Just curious.
Physical or anything, like digital and physical?
Physical.
Yeah.
Why ask this question?
Just curious. What motivates you?
Well, comic book movies are just... That's all it is now. It's comic book movie. And I started thinking of some of the stories they're pulling from, like the Reavers and other shit, and the X-Men and the X-Men Age of Apocalypse. I was like, well, those are all in the 90s. I'm like, those were all 90s stories that were big that they're pulling from.
No. They pulled from Origin in Wolverine Origins. It just didn't go very well. That's not exactly true. I mean, technically, the Avengers and the whole MCU is a version of the Ultimates, sans, the blood and guts and ripping head off and Hulk trying to screw Freddie Prinze Jr., So, I don't know, man. Look, in terms of the sales, dude, I mean, look, no, man, it's never going to happen. It came and went, I think overall, the industry, I mean, if you count for manga and everything else, it's probably selling as much, like, in terms of the entire industry. But in terms of individual issues, no. That'll never happen. So, we're way past that. No one, it shouldn't have sold. People were only buying those comics in the 90s because they thought they're going to be worth something someday. That's the whole point. Like, the way people now buy homes for a ridiculous amount of money because they think they're all going to be worth something someday when no one can afford it. It's just ridiculous. That's why your home's worth $600,000 when it's in the middle of a demilitarized zone in California because they just, for some reason, think the fucking... like when they go, I'm gonna buy this home on the edge of the water, where it's eroding, and pay millions of dollars, and my house is gonna be in the fucking ocean. Meanwhile, you go to like island countries like Brazil, and all the rich people live on the mountains, and all the poor people live on the beach because the sand is eroding, and those homes fall into the water, and they get hit by monsoons really easily. Like it's just I don't know, man, dude. Comics will never. Here's my question. We'll wrap this up. So this past week, I guess you all saw that J. Scott Campbell got in trouble, right?
Yeah.
No, I didn't. I missed that.
Oh, you missed this, Brandon?
I did.
All right. So a year or two ago, it started with me, and I actually tweeted to J. Scott Campbell. I said, first they came for Randy Green, then they came for Milo Manara, then they went for Frank Cho, and now you. And basically, this comes down to cover art. So he drew one of those variant issues for Midtown Comics that he does, or whatever it is, Mile High Midtown, and featuring the new Ironheart. What's her name? Razzie. I can't remember her fucking name. The Ironheart, Iron Man, Iron Girl. She's supposed to be 15, and he drew her. And she's kind of built a little bit more like a 20-year-old woman, basically.
Oh, she, not to me.
Hey, you want to know something? I don't really care. You know what I mean?
I don't care either. In fact, I'm on J. Scott Campbell's side. Like, I think it's totally fine.
So if you don't like it, you just don't buy the fucking cover. Like, you know how many times I've seen Wonder Woman drawn I mean, all right, people. I want to bring this up really quick. Like, let's type in Jim Balent Catwoman. Gotta see the shit I had to put up with in the 90s, right? Like, this was Catwoman, you know? Every fucking month at DC, you know, where she didn't have any clothes, it was just naked with a line, you know? It's like just naked Catwoman with a line, you know?
And that's still, I don't know. I still don't even find that really offensive. Like I'm
As
just
I
not.
don't
I'm
find,
not
see,
really
offensive is not what I'm talking
easily
about.
offended.
Art that I like, right? This is not art that I like. I just didn't care.
Right.
So I didn't fucking buy the thing. But now we're in a situation where if people get offended by fucking art, like, is that, look, that Robin's supposed to be 15 years old. Does that look like a 15-year-old Robin?
Hold on, there's a delay.
I'm waiting for it. I'm waiting for it.
Rob, yeah, no,
Do you understand what I'm saying?
yeah.
But
All
now
right.
everyone gets, you know, a fucking crazy, you know, offensive mode when
That looks
someone.
like 25-year-old Robin.
They start calling them like pedophiles and shit. It was weird. One chick who was like into total BDSM was like, "You're a total pedophile," and they're like, "You are into weird shit," you know? Like, I don't know. Like Eric Larson made a good point. He's like, you know, at Image, we're the only ones who like we let the people who buy the books decide whether we continue doing something versus just opinion, you know? And that has a point. Like, here's the thing: when they took Spider-Man and turned him into a clone, no one fucking bought the books. They changed it, you know? You don't like a variant cover? I mean, these are variant covers, and but what they've come after is, and they, it was really cool because the 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 main post, this is on the front page of Yahoo, was pinup artists should not be allowed to draw teenagers. Was the quote? Pinup artists are not allowed to draw teenagers. So I have to get my head around that idea for a second. You know, like every time I watch anime, I'm told that they're drawn too young. That older girls, she's 21, but she looks 14, and over here the 14-year-olds look like 20. I don't fucking know, guys. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it hurts my fucking head. You know, to even think that this is, you know, that these poor souls have to deal with this bullshit. You know. Now,
Yeah.
would I have drawn the chick that way? Not really. You know, but I'm. So what? Like, you ever seen Kelly Jones's art? You ever seen
No.
Kelly Jones's Batman? This would fuck with the social justice warriors on Twitter. I'm telling you. I'll show you guys some shit that is fucking crazy, right? Let's see. That's Kelly Jones's fucking Batman. Like,
Right there.
yeah.
That's awesome.
See, but is that any kind of realistic? Imagine they made a movie like that.
Yeah. Well,
You know?
I mean, it's just different. I mean, like it's just whatever, you know.
But for
I mean,
me, it wasn't my thing. You know what I mean? But so what? There's
yeah.
about a billion other fucking versions of Batman to go
I
look
mean, it's
at.
not my thing
No,
either. But what I'm saying is, it's not. There's nothing wrong with it.
what I thought, if they wanted to say offensive would have been like she's sitting there with all her school homework and she's like sucking on her pencil or some shit. You know what I mean? Or she's got a hot dog and she's like, you know, like at
Or
school
like
lunch. She's at her school
yeah.
lunch, right, in a playground with a hot dog eating it. Like, that's okay, guys. Like, that's fucking crazy, you know? But like, why don't we all just look at the stupid cover? Uh, Jay, poor guy.
It like I said the other night, it's so tame. I don't understand what people are getting up in arms about. Like, I really don't. It's silly.
So what, they got
Too
to
many.
pull the cover. Here we go. Okay, so here. So this is the cover right here, right? And so Midtown, like, I don't know, man. I don't think he put his best effort into this one. I think he just kind of phoned it in. I think that's the thing too. Like, it looks like he just kind of did a quick sketch, you know, turned that cover in, got paid, and then it turned into this. Because I mean, if you look at the amount of penmanship there compared to something like this, where you put in a lot of fucking work, like look at that. That's a young Jean Grey when she was, you know, what, 19? Does that look like a 19-year-old? Does it matter? Like, it's just ridiculous. I think the worst part is that he probably caught a lot of shit over a piece of art that he didn't even put a lot of effort into.
Right.
I know that's what I was thinking the same thing. Of course, I'm not gonna say it.
You know, like no artist wants to admit they phone. I just got paid on that one. But if you look at the wealth of art, I mean, so there she is from the comics, how she normally looks. Riri. Wasn't Riri
Yeah.
slang for retard when I was a kid? I don't know, man.
I,
I can swear I've heard that as a derogatory say. See, that's some shit I would never name a character. I'd find another name. So Ricci would be. I don't know, man. I don't know, man. This is all. What point? Then he said something else too on the Twitter that was pretty horrendous, or it was like he said, well, I was just trying to make her sassy, like my daughters. And this girl goes, so sassy is a derogatory term for black women. I'm like, he's like,
What?
fuck, yeah, oh yeah. He's like, what? Like I was
I
like,
didn't know
dude,
that.
stop. You're just digging a bigger hole. I just get out of this quagmire.
so even though oddly enough, Urban Dictionary says the top definition for Riri, slang for retard.
Do you understand
Lindy,
what I'm saying?
Lindy looks like a Riri.
Everything is so
I've
offensive
heard this
now.
before when I was a kid. Like Riri, that's something you call like the kid. I mean, I didn't do it, but I can't throw my friends under a bus. But
I think anything now is offensive, anyways.
Yeah,
But
exactly. Anything can be turned into some bad term. Like,
just like I wouldn't name a character Dick Grayson. You know what I mean? Like I just wouldn't call him Dick. Because
yeah, but he was named that in like what, the fucking 60s.
I mean, if they gave Robin, a little kid, that costume now, brand new, no one had ever seen that before, with the short shorts, they'd say it was pedophiliac, right? Like right? And he's hanging around a guy, he's got his underwear, and his cod piece is showing out, and I can't believe, he's got a little, I don't know what, I want out of this game, you know what I mean? When I was a kid, the thing that got me into, if you could say anything semi-political, was a comic book called Boiled Angels. Have any of you ever heard of this?
Nope. Oh wait, is it the one with the nuns and the guns?
Something like that. So there was this comic book. This guy sold through the mail in Florida, right? He had to be 18 or over because you had to send him your fucking credit card or check. He'd check your whatever and send you this thing. And it was like, just murder, blood, guts, whatever, called Boiled Angels. And some woman found her kid with this comic and decided to press charges, and a judge ordered that the court had to see everything he drew, anything that he drew. And so the Comic Book Legal Defense Fund had to get involved, and they were like, I can't believe in this modern age, and this is 1993 or 94, in this modern age, people, having the thought police, and people, what you draw is being monitored, and when we start to really, really politicize people's art and what they're drawing, like that.
I just say, what's really the difference between that and like neoclassical art from like a long time ago? And it's not
Well,
as
look, what you're getting into, Ashley, is the whole
I
argument.
know.
When people tell me that, those proportions aren't realistic, I say, go look at your Michelangelo and tell me what the fuck is. You know what? I'm going to do it right now because I always wanted to bring this up. Michelangelo. People go, Michelangelo is one of the great masters.
I'm just saying, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just maybe you don't. Maybe I'm not.
I'll bring this shit up because I find this hilarious. Like, let's bring up some cool art we got going on here, man. See, it's hard because you get a lot of like remakes and stuff, and people here. There's a piece of Michelangelo naked art. If you guys snap this, there's nothing fucking realistic. Look at the size of the head compared to the body, and the hands compared to the head. Michelangelo stuff. Like it's ridiculous. You start to weigh how they're rendered really well, but look at the size of his ass.
Yeah.
Look how they're contorted. No one stands like that. Like it's just so,
Right, and then people say like her boobs could never be that big.
I mean, whose body's built like that? It's ridiculous.
Mine.
Brandon is the only one.
I'm built like a Greek statue.
Does he draw the male characters in those poses too? Yes, he does. Everyone. Matter of fact, I'd say J. Scott Campbell's art, his male characters have gotten a little feminine over the years.
Oh yeah.
Especially like it started around Danger Girl, like when they started giving he'd take the guys and give them their booties and put their booty out. Like he gives everyone. Everyone gets fair treatment. Everyone's a little sexy in the J. Scott Campbell verse, you know?
Oh, yeah.
I always make sure to draw my guys where their pelvises are just out a little bit, like they're like
Yeah.
like the girls have their butts and boobs in different area codes, and the guys have their
Everything
their
must be
pelvis.
drawn like Adventure Time. There. There will be no other art styles. That's it. Just Adventure Time. And Gravity Falls. And what's that one that reminds me of you, Brandon? Brandon Universe.
Yeah, Steven
Steven Universe. Yeah, Steven Universe. That's it. That is all.
Non-offensive.
Not even Bruce Timm. That's just bullshit.
And,
They're all
the
rated out.
characters
You know?
are purple and blue and red.
Yes.
I think,
Yes.
which
Yes,
is awesome.
Yes, yeah. And orange. And they're all colored like Fraggles. We're done. Like, it's a fucking horrible week for some people out there, man. You know what? They'll forget about it, move on to someone else. I'll probably be next, you know? They'll find something to hate.
Wait.
And then I'll be like, I'm totally irrelevant. Like I have it on good authority that my art doesn't matter. So, all right, everybody. Is there anything else you want to add? We're done?
Nope.
Has this been fun? We have a good time?
Actually, it's okay. It's fun. Yes,
It's actually this time is so, you know.
I like it.
All right, Ashley, where can people find you on the internet?
You can find me on Instagram, and I'm Gang Feather.
Where can people complain about your art on the internet?
Hope not.
All right, send all the complaints. Awesome. Her links are below. Brandon, where can people find you when you're actually doing stuff?
Real quick before I plug myself. Wait, that's not. Someone asked James Gunn, "Would you direct Deadpool 2?" He said, "I'm a little busy." And then Robert Liefeld commented to him, "You are the absolute best." So yeah, he's a little busy.
We would all like James Gunn to direct pretty much anything after, you know, Guardians
Right.
1 and probably 2. So, you know.
On that note, you can find me online on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at LeadHeavy, LEAD Heavy.
And you can find Brandon plugging himself here weekly at sketchcraft.com.
It's okay, Brandon. I've said some weird stuff too.
Yeah, but I'm not letting that one go.
I've
You can find me and my glorious beard on all the interwebs.
Join me in the next 20 minutes or so to work on Rick and Morty flats, coloring flats. So I'll be here shortly working on that. Hope to see you all there. Kyle, if you can chat on the Skype while we're doing that, that's great. If not, whatever. I will see you all soon on the next SketchCraft Live. Say goodbye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Brandon Rotato.